Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra.
Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Market Mantra, the program in which we give you a complete update on the economic, business and stock market news of the day. Well, I am Nishit Kumar and with me is my co-anchor in Hindi, Vishal Sharma.
नमस्कार, मार्केट मंत्र में आपका स्वागत। प्रतिदिन की तरह कार्यक्रम में हम आर्थिक, व्यापारिक और शेयर बाजार से जुड़ी ताजा खबरें आप तक लाएंगे, साथ ही उन पर चर्चा भी करेंगे। कार्यक्रम में आज चर्चा के लिए ऑनलाइन आमंत्रित हैं वरिष्ठ आर्थिक विश्लेषक उद्यन रे। उद्यन जी नमस्कार, मार्केट मंत्र में आपका स्वागत।
नमस्कार, धन्यवाद।
सबसे पहले हेडलाइंस के साथ हैं निशित कुमार।
Sensex falls 456 points to close below 61,300. Nifty slips below 18,300. Rupee logged robust appreciation of 47 paise against the US dollar and Brent crude rises to trade above $84 per barrel level.
सेंसेक्स 456 अंक की गिरावट से 61,300 के नीचे हुआ बंद। निफ्टी 18,300 के स्तर से नीचे आया। रुपया हुआ डॉलर के मुकाबले 47 पैसे मजबूत और ब्रेंट कच्चे तेल की कीमतें बढ़कर $84 प्रति बैरल के पार। कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत शेयर बाजार से। मिले जुले वैश्विक संकेतों के बीच आज सेंसेक्स 0.7% टूटकर 61,300 के नीचे बंद हुआ। निफ्टी भी फिसलकर 18,300 के स्तर से नीचे आ गया। बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का सेंसेक्स 456 अंक लुढ़ककर 0.74% के नुकसान से 61,260 पर बंद हुआ। नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का निफ्टी भी 152 अंक की गिरावट से 0.83% नीचे 18,267 पर बंद हुआ। व्यापक बाजार में भी आज गिरावट रही। बीएसई मिड कैप इंडेक्स 1.91% और स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स 2.31% नुकसान के साथ बंद हुए।
The Sensex today fell more than 0.7% amid mixed global cues. The Sensex closed below 61,300 and the Nifty slipped below 18,300 level. The BSE Sensex plunged 456 points or 0.74% to trade at 61,260. The NSE Nifty also fell 152 points or 0.83% to trade at 18,267. And in the broader market at the BSE, the mid-cap index also declined 1.91% and the small-cap index plunged 2.31%. In the Sensex pack, shares of 7 companies gained while 23 logged losses. Bharti Airtel was the top gainer as it surged 4%, followed by SBI, which gained 2.4%. IndusInd Bank added 0.6%. On the other side, Titan plunged 3%. Hindustan Unilever declined 2.6% and Bajaj Finserv fell 2.4%. And in the sectoral indices, all the sectors logged losses except telecom, which climbed 2.9%. While on the other hand, consumer durables lost 3.4%, basic material declined 2.5% and metal ended 2.3% down. The overall breadth of the BSE trade was negative as shares of 887 companies gained while 2,428 fell. Shares of 110 companies remained unchanged. Well, Udayan, what factors do you actually attribute to the tumultuous last few sessions that we have seen in the market, especially in the last 2 sessions? Is it in a correction mode? Is it in a consolidation phase? Or is it just, we can say, the selling pressure that we are seeing?
Well, I reckon that it's taking a little bit of some level of more towards a consolidation kind of a thing, because there's been a relentless move upwards or forward, whichever way you want to take a look at it. Investors obviously want to take some, do some profit booking, take some money off the table. That is something I would reckon, because if you recollect that some of the data, of course, data has been quite mixed from US and other places. On Friday, there was a pretty decent retail sort of a data that came out of the US. So it's been generally been positive. It's nothing that will make people nervous, except the inflation worries in the developed countries. So one would reckon that this is a little bit of consolidation, little bit of looking for new opportunities, till more dramatic or significant change happens in the overall system. I'm referring to any kind of indication by the Federal Reserve in the US of changing their monetary stance.
Do you also feel that with significant withdrawal of the FIIs and to an extent the DIIs as well, has it got something to do with this thing as well? As in, the retail investors could not kind of bring that kind of heft in the market as to sustain the mobility or the upward trend. Is it like that?
Well, institutional investors are still are the movers and shakers. I mean, both foreign and domestic. Now, interestingly, a lot of the institutional investors, foreign institutional investors, actually, when they're, if you see the recent their notes that they have been sending, and also the narratives that they're expressing in the public media. I'm talking about international financial institutions. They, according to them, India is a overpriced market. Some of them feel that it's a overpriced market, and there are other markets that they think are a better price. There's more value out there, so they might be just doing a little bit of juggling out there, and also in terms of prospects. So they're probably doing juggling around a little bit. So that is something that's there, and of course, when markets do well, retail participation is always good. So I would be very surprised if we get data to the contrary. But yes, when they move out, they will make an impact in the index and or some of the other things that we see.
जी उद्यन, आज अगर हम देखें तो सेंसेक्स और निफ्टी के मुकाबले मिड कैप इंडेक्स और स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स में गिरावट कहीं ज्यादा रही है। क्या वजह आप देख पा रहे हैं इसके पीछे?
देखिए, इसमें मिड कैप में कुछ ऐसे शेयर्स हैं जिनका रनअप बहुत जबरदस्त रहा है, और उनके जबरदस्त रनअप की वजह से वहां पे कोई भी कारण हो सकता है, कोई भी बहाना हो सकता है जिसकी वजह से लोग बुकिंग करके, प्रॉफिट बुकिंग करके अपना होल्डिंग वहां पे कम करें या टोटली एग्जिट करें। तो ऐसा ये एक चीज हुआ है। तो इंडिविजुअल जो मिड कैप स्टोरीज हैं, वहां पे लोगों को लगा कि अब थोड़ा सा प्रॉफिट बुकिंग कर लिया जाए या पूरा का पूरा कर लिया जाए। तो डेफिनेट वो दिख रहा है। जब भी मिड कैप और स्मॉल कैप में आप इस टाइप की एक्शन देखते हैं, तो प्रॉफिट बुकिंग का एक हिसाब किताब तो रहता है, जो कि यहाँ पे हुआ है। इसके अलावा भी जब भी आप प्रॉफिट बुकिंग करना चाहते हैं मिड कैप और स्मॉल कैप में, चूंकि वो स्लाइटली हायर रिस्क होते हैं, तो अगर आप प्रॉफिट बुक करना चाहते हैं, आप वहां पे जाएंगे, और जो लार्जेस्ट सॉर्ट ऑफ कंपनीज हैं वो स्टेबल स्टोरीज होती हैं, तो वहां पे आप थोड़ा ठहराव के साथ देखते हैं। और जब पैसा आपने निकाला, फिर आप नए अपॉर्चुनिटी जो यहाँ पे आपको वैल्यू दिख रहा है या यहाँ पे ग्रोथ का प्रॉस्पेक्ट अच्छा दिख रहा है, वहां पे आपने रोटेट किया बेसिकली। तो ये पोर्टफोलियो की रीजिंग विद इन इंडिया एंड ऑल्सो आपका जो इंटरनेशनल पोर्टफोलियो, वहां पे भी कंट्री एलोकेशन में भी आप चेंजेस लाते रहते हैं।
Continuing in the same breath, Udyan, we talked of the broader market, the small cap and the mid cap. What views do you have of the large caps, as in the short and the long term, with the markets in such a tumultuous phase at the moment?
Well, Ravi, if you look at the way things have panned out, I mean, some of the headlines that have come out. So, in terms of FMCG, which are the, at least traditionally they were seen as defensive within quotes, fail-safe kind of sectors, they have to be looked at. Now, they seem to be facing their own set of challenges. The narrative that come out of the Hindustan Unilever results, or some of the things that some of the other players are facing. So there exactly, it's not as if they are not facing any challenges or they are not. They are something. They are sort of indicating some kind of a huge upside. Of course, in your news headlines, you mentioned about telecom doing well. That's primarily because of the news that's probably come for the AGR dues as far as Vodafone Idea is concerned. So there also some of the headlines that have come in or the news reports that have come in are not exactly the kind of things that will enthuse you. So on a day like this, they could have come and counterbalance things, but that has obviously didn't happen. So there are certain challenges in the auto sector. There are challenges which are well known relating to supply chain in FMCG inflation in terms of imports. So some of those things are coming to the fore. And on a day like this, they come to the fore because you're not getting as many exciting other kind of positive headlines. So on a day like this, they end up playing a role.
Yeah, it's time now for us to slip into a quick break, but do stay tuned in because we have lots coming up on the other side.
बड़े भैया इस दोहे को जरा एक्सप्लेन तो करिए कि बिना विचारे जो करे सो पाछे पछताए काम बिगाड़े आपनो जग में हो फसाए।
सिंपल है छोटे कि बिना विचार किए अगर आप इन्वेस्टमेंट करेंगे तो बाद में पछताएंगे और लोग हंसेंगे।
ओ तो ये बात है।
हाँ छोटे, लोगों की बातों में मत पड़िए, इन्वेस्टमेंट सोच समझ कर आज से ही करिए।
बड़े भैया
अरे छोटे,
भारत के सबसे बड़े स्टॉक एक्सचेंज NSE द्वारा निवेशकों के हित में जारी।
ब्रेक के बाद कार्यक्रम में आपका फिर स्वागत है। उद्यन जी, हम चर्चा कर रहे थे शेयर बाजार को लेकर के और आज के कारोबार को लेकर के। आज अगर हम देखें तो शुगर सेक्टर से रिलेटेड जो कंपनियां हैं उनके शेयरों में 4 से 8% तक की गिरावट देखने को मिली है और देखा जाए तो चीनी का भाव 4.5 साल की ऊपरी स्तर पर पहुंच गया है, लेकिन ये दबाव अच्छा खासा आज देखने को मिला। क्या वजह रही इसके पीछे?
देखिए, शुगर की उसके ऊपर मेरी नजर उतनी पैनी नहीं है और इसको मैंने उतनी ध्यान से फॉलो नहीं किया जितना दूसरे खबरों का, पर मुझे लगता है कि हमें इसके डिटेल्स के बारे में थोड़ा सा और खबरें आती रहेंगी और जिससे हम बेहतर टिप्पणी कर पाएंगे।
Very popular thing which our listeners would like to know. The market says, then has been at almost the lifetime highs now. So can we kind of perceive the current correction as something cyclical and compulsive if we look at things historically, or can we expect the recent buoyancy to return after a brief lull?
Oh yes, Ravi, I'm quite sure. Because some of the most important things that can change. If you look at all the discussions happening around the world, nobody is saying that this kind of movement can get corrected, and they're giving two major sort of developments that could change the course of the market. One being, of course, the Federal Reserve. If it suddenly says that okay, we are going to probably start our corrective sort of steps that we were talking about a little earlier than what we thought. That's number one. There isn't any evidence of that. Data will not be supporting that. Second is, of course, people get spooked by. Governments get spooked by. Rather, monetary authorities get spooked by the inflation, and they say, okay, we're going to tighten, we're going to raise rates or something like that. And that is also very unlikely, even in China, where they were moving slightly ahead of the curve, they're probably going to pause with the kind of data that's coming in. So, Ravi, I'm not being able to see what are the major things that will happen that will really change things. And you'll probably have the markets pause for a little while, gain a little bit of breath, and then maybe move forward. The question is, it will not keep galloping. It cannot obviously keep galloping forever. But yeah, you will see that direction continue for some time till some of these major factors come in, and they sort of people start wondering what is the next thing they should be doing.
जी, और निश्चित अब हम रुक करते हैं रुपए के प्रदर्शन पर। अंतर बैंक विदेशी मुद्रा विनिमय बाजार में रुपए में आज 47 पैसे की मजबूती दर्ज हुई। रुपया $1 के मुकाबले 74 रुपए 88 पैसे के स्तर पर बंद हुआ। विश्व की 6 प्रमुख मुद्राओं की तुलना में डॉलर की मजबूती दर्शाने वाला डॉलर इंडेक्स अंतर्दिवसीय कारोबार में 0.09% की वृद्धि से 93.82 पर चल रहा था। जी, और अब रुक करते हैं एशियाई बाजारों का। एशियाई शेयर बाजारों में आज कारोबार मिला जुला रहा। हांगकांग का हैंग सेंग 1.4% और जापान का निकेई सूचकांक 0.1% लाभ के साथ बंद हुए। सिंगापुर का स्टेट्स टाइम्स इंडेक्स बिना किसी उतार चढ़ाव के बंद हुआ, जबकि दक्षिण कोरिया का कोस्पी 0.5% और चीन का शंघाई कंपोजिट इंडेक्स 0.2% के नुकसान में रहे। बात करें यूरोपीय शेयर बाजारों की, तो वहां पर मिले जुले रुख के साथ आज अधिकतर शेयर बाजार सीमित दायरे में कारोबार करते दिखे। अंतर्दिवसीय कारोबार में लंदन का FTSE 100 सपाट कारोबार कर रहा था। फ्रांस का CAC 40 0.1% की गिरावट के साथ, जबकि जर्मनी का डेक्स 0.1% की बढ़त के साथ कारोबार कर रहा था।
And moving on to the U.S. markets, the U.S. stock indices closed higher yesterday with the biggest boost from technology and healthcare sectors as investors appear to bet on solid quarterly reports, even as some worried that it was too early to celebrate. The blue chip Dow Jones climbed 0.6%, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite Index both rose 0.7%. Well, Udyan, the IMF, we saw in the recent reports, the IMF and other agencies, they predict that India would be the fastest growing economy in the coming few years, with China already slowing down and even the US already looking down the barrel. Even Niti Aayog says that we'll clock a growth rate of at least 10.5% this fiscal. Where do you see the wherewithals, if any, of getting to that exalted figure?
Well, Ravi, I mean, if you look at it very realistically, on 31st March 2022, when this new financial year will end, we'll be basically where we were 2 years back or a little ahead. That's thanks to the kind of, adverse impact we faced because of the pandemic. So basically, we would have actually lost about 2 years, inflation adjusted. From thereafter, so the important part is, you're saying that where would all come? So that's where all the reforms, all the enabling mechanisms, catalysts that we need to bring in terms of things that will help, in terms of policies. If that can be done, that can be put in place. Lot has been done, of course, and lots more needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Then you have that platform, you have that pathway in which through which you can move. Now the question is, what is going to be the percentage? One can keep debating. But then it will be a good one. But one should remember that after a crisis like this, which the world has gone through, you never move very fast. A lot of people are talking about a V-shaped recovery, but essentially you're getting your first benchmark is where you were before the pandemic came in. Mm-hmm. So that's first you would want to reach there. And then you will want to really move fast and make up for lost time. In our country, it's very important because if we grow well, then a lot of people who have slipped down or are below the poverty line or are challenged economically, you need to bring them up. So that's the kind of challenge we have. So in terms of wherewithal, that's something that's happening. The government is doing, and that's what it needs to do, because after that period, then nobody would be able to that benchmark of pre-pandemic, within the pandemic, that will be all become redundant. Then we'll have a new benchmark. So these are the two parts that I can break it up into. And yes, you will not have a absolutely unshackled sort of growth. Typically, if you look at what happened in the financial crisis 2008-9. Global economy took a little bit of time to really find its mojo back. It's not as if it didn't grow. Everybody grew, but it does take a time, and because the recovery is uneven, therefore you would need certain sectors would need help. People will need help. So we are going to grow. We are going to grow well. The question is how well we manage some of the places where we have got hit hard.
जी, यहाँ लेंगे एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, मिलते हैं ब्रेक के बाद।
बड़े भैया इस कहावत को जरा एक्सप्लेन तो करिए कि पानी यूं मत डाले जाओ ऋतु देख के फसल उगाओ।
सिंपल है छोटे कि अपने लक्ष्य को दिमाग में रख कर इन्वेस्ट करना सीखो, पैसा ऐसे ही मत लगाते जाओ।
ओ तो ये बात है।
हाँ छोटे, अगर पढ़ाई के लिए या किसी की शादी के लिए जोड़ना है रुपया तो उसी हिसाब से तो इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा ना भैया।
बड़े भैया
छोटे,
भारत के सबसे बड़े स्टॉक एक्सचेंज NSE द्वारा निवेशकों के हित में जारी।
सोच कर समझ कर इन्वेस्ट कर।
Welcome back to Market Mantra. Well, Udyam, what sectors in your view have kind of not kept pace with the bull run over the last year or so and yet may be considered to be the dark horse in the long run for our listeners' benefit?
Yeah, apologies, Nishit, for getting your name wrong. Well, I would say that, the services sector, so if you look at services sector, it could be, you would have services like commercial real estate services, right? Because if your IT is going to grow and some of the other services are going to grow, the commercial real estate would be one area you would say that, okay, this is going to grow. Your travel would be an important area. Hospitality would be an important area. These are all still very, very subdued. Aviation is impacted. Of course, aviation is impacted by fuel and security costs and other things. But then if your economy is going to be growing, then your aviation has to be also has to grow fast. So these would, depending on how well these government policies are, how the regulations happen, and where the regulations are less in terms of ability to move in and out and scale up. These would be the areas. Also entertainment, okay? Whether it's streaming, whether it's all forms of entertainment. So anything which is getting listed out there, whether it's a new company or an old company which is already listed, those are the areas that one should be looking at. Those will be the opportunities. They haven't really opened up and got the benefit of the reopening as much as I think they should be.
जी, उद्यम सेक्टर वाइज हम बात कर रहे थे शेयर बाजार की, और आपने गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज का भी अभी जिक्र किया। यहाँ पर हम आज देखें अगर तो टेलीकॉम सेक्टर में के शेयर्स में आज 2.9% का उछाल देखने को मिला है। हाल ही में सरकार ने जो टेलीकॉम कंपनियों के ऊपर AGR बकाया था उसको लेकर की भी कुछ राहत दी थी सरकार ने। आने वाले वक्त में 5G टेक्नोलॉजी अब आने को है। ऐसे समय में हम टेलीकॉम सेक्टर की अगर बात करें तो आप किस तरीके का परिदृश्य देख पा रहे हैं अब अगले 3-4 सालों में टेलीकॉम सेक्टर में?
देखिए, टेलीकॉम सेक्टर में दिक्कत ही ये रही है कि जो बिडिंग हुई है, चाहे वो 3G हो, दूसरी चीजें हों, वहां पे उनको लेने के लिए कंपनियों ने काफी डेट लिया है, मतलब लोन्स लिए हैं, और उनका बोझ उनके कंपनी के जो खाते हैं वो वहाँ पे साफ दिखता है। और सवाल ये उठता है कि एक तो उनको प्राइसिंग में उनको ठीक ठाक बदलाव लाने पड़ेंगे, जो कि उन्होंने किया भी है, शुरुआत ऑलरेडी कर दिया। फिर इसके बाद वो रोल आउट कितनी इफेक्टिवली करते हैं, वो वैल्यू एडेड सर्विस कितना करते हैं, क्योंकि टेलीकॉम कंपनीज के थ्रू से एंटरटेनमेंट, दूसरी विभिन्न जो सर्विस हैं, यहाँ पे उनको बेहतर यूजर से बेहतर राजस्व मिलेगा, रेवेन्यू मिलेगा, पर यूजर से बेहतर, हर एक यूजर से बेहतर रेवेन्यू मिले और उनको वो रिटेन करें, ये काफी कुछ इसके ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा। और कायदे के तौर से हमारा इतना बड़ा मोबाइल सर्विसेज मार्केट है, वहां पे 3 कंपनियों को तो बहुत बेहतरीन प्रदर्शन होना चाहिए, पर इनके पीछे जो लेगेसी इश्यूज हैं वो इतने बड़े हैं कि वो हमेशा कुछ वर्षों तक उनका पीछा जरूर करते रहेंगे, क्योंकि उनका डेट का साइज, ये लिटिगेशन और ये इश्यूज के साइज इतना ज्यादा है कि वो पुरानी जो बैगेज है वो धीरे वक्त के साथ ही जाएगा।
Yeah, Udyan, from telecom, let's talk of realty. Do you feel that we are in for some tailwinds in the short and long term as well, since it is one of the key drivers of the growth story, and certainly we cannot just afford to see the sector more in the doldrums?
Yeah, Nishad, I would say that although if you see in some of the cities, you're seeing the real estate prices going up, but again, I'm afraid that it's a question of a supply situation. The demand is there for a massive amount of housing requirements is there. But the question is how well we manage that, and how the existing inventories are let go, how they're disposed of, and then there's a lot of cleaning up that has happened, right, over a period of time, and it's a more transparent sector now. But I reckon in the short term, you'll see buoyancy, but in terms of the kind of growth that you would want, you'll probably see a little more in the commercial real estate to begin with. There's a lot of money that's coming in, foreign money as well. And then, of course, in the retail or the individual segment, you might see the kind of bounce that we are supposed to see, right? So that is something, but it's always been a supply side issue, whether it's regulation, availability of land, how quickly projects can be executed, how well the regulation happens, how well the customers are treated. So all these are issues, and there again, like telecom, there are legacy issues, so those have to also get sorted out. I'm talking about individual players. So once they get sorted out, which they eventually they will, then you will see a much better picture out there.
Yeah, moving on to oil now. Oil futures today rose and were near the multi-year highs as an energy supply crunch continued across the globe. Falling temperatures in China revived concerns over whether the world's biggest energy consumer can meet the domestic heating needs. And in the intraday trade, the Brent crude was trading around $84.30 per barrel, while the WTI crude prices were at $82.20 per barrel.
और अब सोने की बात करते हैं। मल्टी कमोडिटी एक्सचेंज पर दिसंबर में आपूर्ति किए जाने वाले सोने का भाव 120 रुपए की तेजी से 47,500 रुपए प्रति 10 ग्राम पर चल रहा था। चांदी भी 560 रुपए की मजबूती से 65,010 रुपए प्रति किलो पर कारोबार कर रही थी। न्यूयॉर्क मर्केंटाइल एक्सचेंज पर सोना बढ़त के साथ $1,781.30 प्रति औंस, जबकि चांदी $24 प्रति औंस पर कारोबार कर रही थी।
Well, Udayan, very briefly, could you give us a perspective on where this oil thing, the crude thing, is headed in the short term?
Well, these pressures are going to continue in the ship because unless some fresh supplies are released by OPEC Plus, it's essentially, and they need to be now confident of releasing the supplies, because at $84 now, it's going to at some point start eating into the economic activity. So they will at some point see sense in releasing more supplies.
जी, उद्यन रे कार्यक्रम में आप शामिल हुए और इतने सारे विषयों पर चर्चा की, इसके लिए आपका धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद।
And before we close, a reminder of the headlines. Sensex falls 456 points to close below 61,300. Nifty slips below 18,300. Rupee logged robust appreciation of 47 paise against the US dollar, and Brent crude rises to trade above $84 per barrel level. And that's it in this edition of Market Mantra. This is Nishit Kumar along with me, Vishal Sharma, saying adios till we meet again the next time.
Market Mantra.